And we're going to be obviously doing the pose with a strap. And I don't know how many of you have been to my strap training class. I did this over early in COVID, and it's something that nobody ever taught me. And so it's so simple to hold the strap without having to clench and get your hands tired. And so I'm going to do this so that it's on the screen also. So if you want to really see it, you'll have to come up a little bit, but that's okay. Let me get this a little higher. And I have a reason why I'm going to do this on my back. But first, to get the strap, the first way we're going to do this is you'll put the middle of the strap over the ball of your foot. Then you grab the ends of the strap all the way down to the very end. Now, see how my hands are, my fists are, my palms are facing away. Then to bind, all I do is I turn my fists in so that I'm kind of hitting the knuckles, and then continue out, roll up, and then I clench the strap with my thumb. And from here, I have a really good grip, and I won't slip, and it doesn't take any effort. So again, you start off, you grab the opposite ends with your palms facing towards your feet, then just rotate in and wrap. Grab it with your thumb, and that's all you need to do. You're going to change your bind, and the way to change the bind, you have to just loosen up. You'll hold it with your left hand, take your right hand, bring it underneath the strap, but your palm is facing towards your feet. Then just reach over the top and grab it. But have your thumb available, and then just put that loose end of the strap through. And from here, I could pull a truck with this without any effort. So that's it with the strap. Doing it the other side. Ooh, this is really hard. Just run your hand through the back of your hand, then reach over the top, and you're set. So let's see. Oh, the block. We're going to do reclining pigeon and a bridge. And so your block, you're going to want to put the block right on your sacrum. And your sacrum is 5 vertebrae sections that fused together when you were in your 20s. Your sacrum's roughly triangular shape, and it's below your hip points, but not much. So on me, it's just about where the top of my pants are. Everyone's just about the same, but put the block, the higher point of the block, right on the top of where your sacrum will be. That way, all your weight will be going into the block through your sacrum. If you have it up high, you're going to be bending your lumbar spine, and that's not good. If you're too low, you're going to be hurting the top of your pelvis. So anyway, those are the two 2 bits of education. There'll be a quiz. And to start today, let's start in just a seated meditation. Now, when I have one more strap, everyone has a strap, right? Okay. So come to whatever seated position is best for you. My name is Clint, and this is Yin Yoga. And if you were expecting something else, well, welcome to Yin Yoga. So you can sit up on a block, and if you do, get your sit bones right on the edge so that it tilts your pelvis forward. That will relieve your groins, allows your knees to come down to the mat. Inhale your spine long. Tip the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Inhale. And exhale out through your nose. Allow your eyes to close. Then take another deep cleansing breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your nose. And let your breath come to its own natural rhythm, in and out through your nose. Throughout today's class, follow your breath. And use your breath to help get into a pose, to help soften your body. Notice as you inhale what parts of your lungs tend to inflate first. Then which parts accept the last tiny bit of breath. Then when you exhale, how do you exhale? There's no need to correct, improve, or make your breath better in any way. Your own natural breath is what you were born with, what your body needs. But following your breath just raises your awareness so that when you need to direct your breath to a particular body part where the sensations have grown due to the pose, you can begin to adjust and direct that breath. Allow your arms to relax. Allow your jaws to relax. Become an observer during this class and observe what your body is doing, almost like an out-of-body experience. Maybe you can climb inside your body, inside your cells, to see how they're responding and why they're responding the way they are. The more you can learn about the way your body works and responds, the better steward you'll be to take care of your body. Begin to deepen your breath. On your next breath, open up your eyes. And the next pose is going to be a dragonfly. So if you're on a block, you can stay on the block if you wish. Bring your legs out into a straddle. Don't make it the maximum straddle you can possibly make. But bring your legs apart somewhat comfortably. We're going to do a fold over the left leg. So to start, just stretch the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Inhale, turn your shoulders and chest all the way over towards that left foot. Inhale, and then on an exhale, begin to walk your hands towards your heel. And come as far as your body wants you to come, and then pause when it's appropriate for you. Breathe into those areas that have the most sensation, or those areas that are resisting the most. You may not be coming down very far, but that's okay. This is a mild twist, but it's also part side bend. You may find resistance from your right leg and your right hip. So try to relax that right leg. You can use a block underneath your right thigh or underneath, your left thigh or your left knee, if that makes sense. That may allow you to come forward a little bit more because your body won't be concerned about protecting you. Begin to deepen your breath. On your next inhale, walk your hands back, come all the way up. Help your legs to come back to center. If you're on a block, carefully remove it. Set it aside. Bring your hands behind your hips. Bend your knees, put your footprints on the mat. And notice how your hips feel. And then slowly windshield wiper your knees from left to right. Maybe you can feel that rush of blood and water into your cells that were being challenged. And the next time you come to center, pause, come back onto your elbows. Make sure you have your strap in hand. And just lay the strap across your chest for right now. Put your heels down. Push your heels towards the front of the mat. Raise your arms up towards the ceiling. And then rotate your arms down towards the wall beyond your head. And stretch your heels away from your palms. And your fingers away from your toes. Turn your arms back down by your side. And leaving your left leg where it is, Bend your right knee, draw that right knee into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Maybe into your chest is as far as you can go, but you might be able to go a little bit farther if you take that knee a little bit outside, more towards your armpit. And then flex that right foot. Take the center of your strap and place it over the ball of your foot. And then step that foot up onto the ceiling, grabbing onto the ends of the strap with your hands. And then the way that you just learn, make a bind and see if it works. From here, with your footprint up on the ceiling, draw your arms outward. That'll put more weight into your foot and into your hip socket. If you like a little bit more sensation in your leg, maybe draw that foot a little bit farther towards the wall behind your head. That will stretch your hamstrings a little bit more. Your calves. And then carefully change your bind to just the right hand. Bring your left hand on top of your left thigh to make sure that that hip doesn't rise up. Rotate your right foot out, maybe 15 degrees. And then slowly, over the course of maybe 4 or 5 breaths, slowly let that right leg drop out to the right, all the while keeping tension in that strap. You may have to adjust the length, that's okay. You never want to get that foot all the way down to the mat. And if you're getting too close, just put more tension so that that leg stays up off of the floor. You can bring your elbow down and rest your elbow on the floor so that your arm is not in agony. But you want to keep that tension in your leg. You're stretching your hamstring, you're stretching your adductors. You're stretching a bit of your iliacus and your psoas. And notice where you feel this. Are you feeling this right at the top of your, or just below your knee? Just above your knee? In your hip? Breathe into wherever you feel this the most. Begin to deepen your breath. On your next inhale, begin to bring that right leg back up towards the ceiling. And when you get there, pause. And then carefully switch your bind to your left hand. Make sure that that right hip stays down. As you draw that left hand and left foot off to the left, maybe only 10 inches.
And if you're not feeling this in your IT band, the outside muscles of your legs, of your right leg, draw that foot a little bit farther towards the wall beyond your head. You can always run that right hand up the outside of your thigh, alongside your knee. And notice how quickly those muscles respond. On the next inhale, bring your foot back up to center. Keep tension on your leg as you bend your knee until it's convenient to release the bind, set the strap down, draw that knee into your chest again. Maybe make some circles with your toes and ankle. Make sure you go the opposite direction. And then bring your left knee up to meet the right. Give yourself a squeeze and rock from left to right. Massage your spine. And then on your next exhale, lower your feet right next to your sit bones. Find your block. Bring your hands back down next to your hips. And on your next inhale, tuck your tailbone under, bringing your sacrum and the small of your back into contact with your mat. Inhale, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Stay here for a couple of breaths. As you're up, maybe you can drag your heels towards your shoulders, push your knees towards the front of the mat. You can feel this nice stretch in your quads. And right across the top of your hip crease. And on an exhale, lower back down. This time, grab your block the flattest way possible. And on an inhale, lift up. Place the block underneath your sacrum with the long dimension going from left to right. And sit back down, or let your hips come back down. From here, lift your right foot up onto the ceiling. We're doing a reclining squat. So push that heel away. And then bend that left knee, bring the left ankle over the top of, I'm sorry, that was your right leg that was up in the air. Bring your right ankle over the top of your left thigh. And then on an inhale, lift that left leg up, reach between your legs with your right hand around the outside of your left, with your left hand, and make a bind. Now you can be bound behind your thigh. If you have a difficult time reaching that, you can always use a strap. Now you have lots of options here. And it just depends where you want to feel this. This targets your glutes on the right and also your right hip socket. So if you're not feeling this where you want to, you can always move your foot off to the left and see what that does. That will probably give you more sensation on the outer part of your glutes, your gluteus medius. Or you can move that foot more to the right, which takes your knee way out to the right. You can feel this more on your gluteus maximus. You can draw that knee in left knee into your chest a little bit more. Or back up. Begin to deepen your breath. On your next exhale, release your bind, lowering that foot down to the mat. And then lift that right foot up onto the ceiling one last time. Bend your knee and bring it down next to your left. Inhale, lift up, move the block. Lower your hips down onto the mat. Draw your knees into your chest. Push your hips away and rock from left to right. Maybe you want to make some circles with your knees. That's okay too. This is your practice. And the next time you come to center pause. Now the next pose is spinal twist with cat pulling its tail. So perhaps the easiest way to do this is while you're still on your back, cross your ankles with your left ankle over your right so that your right foot is really near your left butt cheek. Maybe you can grab onto that right foot with your left hand. Bring the right arm out into T and roll over onto your right side. So now your chest is pretty much vertical. You're looking off to the right side of your mat. And then begin to use your left hand to pull your right leg, your right knee down towards the front of the mat. Your left knee can be on the mat or it can be up. You can come up onto your toes. It doesn't matter at this point. But what you want to do is get a nice stretch in your quad. And then begin to bring that left shoulder down. And your left shoulder may never meet the floor. That's okay. Your right hand can be on top of your left knee rather. You might want to straighten out that left leg towards the side of the room. But you should be able to feel this spinal twist all the way from your left shoulder to the top right hip point, right across your pecs and your belly. And if you look really hard inside, you can feel it across your back too. Now, if you can't reach, you can always use a strap to extend your arm. Begin to deepen your breath. On your next exhale, release your bind. Bring your left foot back to meet the right. Roll onto your back. Draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And rock from left to right. Then the next pose is going to be caterpillar. So you'll have to come to a seated position. You can cross your ankles again and rock from left to right. Come all the way up, or you can move around to your right side. You can use the block underneath your sit bones again. My hamstrings really want these legs to be straight right now. So once you get ceiling, push your heels away, lift your spine, lift the crown of your head up, tuck your chin. And on an exhale, walk your hands alongside your legs, drawing your collarbones towards your feet until it's right for you to pause. You can always raise your hands and let your backs of your hands rest on top of your shins. That will reduce the urge to pull. But if you really want to pull, come to my Ashtanga class. Listen carefully. Your next inhale, come up about halfway. Straighten your spine again. Moon the person behind you. That won't insult anyone. It draws your chest farther forward, and then just slowly let gravity take over. Round your spine. Let your head just fall forward. And again, turn inside your body. See if you can feel what's going on. Maybe you want your toes just to fall forward. See what that does. Begin to deepen your breath. The rounding of your spine has lengthened it. At least the back portion of your spine, giving your discs a little bit more space. In your next inhale, begin to rise up. And stretching your hamstrings a lot. If you're on a block, carefully remove it. Set that aside. Bring your hands behind your hips. Put your feet onto the mat. They can be the same as before, or wider or narrower. And then observe again when you start to windshield wiper. See if you can feel where the sensations are and how different they are from the dragonfly you were in. The next time you come to center pause, straighten out your legs again, come down onto your elbows, all the way down onto your back. Bring your arms up overhead and stretch. Return your hands next to your sides. Find the block. This time we're going to do a supported bridge. So your block has 3 different heights, and with the option of not using the block, you have 4 different elevations you can select. Go with the highest one you feel comfortable with, and don't be afraid to change. From here, bend your knees and walk your footprints up towards your sit bones. Tuck your tailbone under again, lift your hips up, and slide that block underneath your sit bone. And carefully come down, then rock forwards and backward a little bit, just to make sure that the block is plumb and isn't going to fall over. Maybe we'll move left to right. And once you're stable, you have some options. You can walk your feet towards the front of the mat. You can leave your footprints on the mat, or you can come up on your heels. If you've never spread your legs while in supported bridge before, maybe that will be something interesting for you. You deserve to try it just to see how it feels. You can always change. From here, since your eyes are closed, nobody can see you, maybe just reach up to your hip crease. Maybe you can feel your psoas and your iliacus muscles running over the front of your pelvis, because those 2 hip flexors are being stretched, they're being extended about as much as it can possibly be. If you'd like a little bit more stretch, bring your arms up towards the ceiling, and then let them lay on the floor beyond your head. Find a way to have the floor support your forearms and your hands, so your arms aren't bobbing in the wind. Even if you have to have one arm in a different position, and then relax your glutes. Just let your legs fall right off. If bridge wasn't such a powerful pose, it'd be wonderful to stay here for 7 to 10 minutes, but you probably need help to get home. So from here, return your arms back down by your sides. Walk your feet back towards your sit bones. On an inhale, push the floor away, lifting your hips. Remove the block, come back down. Push the small of your back into the mat, and then draw your knees into your chest. And lengthening your spine by pushing your hips away. Rock again from left to right. 4 circles. We're going to come up one more time so you can rock forwards and backwards again. Or come over onto your side. We're going to come back into Dragonfly, like the second pose. And again, you can use the block underneath your sit bones if you wish. It's not a necessity. One side may be different than the other. Do what's best for you. Inhale your spine tall. Turn your chest towards the right leg. And then begin walking your hands towards your right foot. Turn your collarbones towards that foot. And the crown of your head towards the far wall. Until your body instructs you to pause. At any time, you can come up a little bit on your own, maybe twist a little bit more to the right, come back to the left, and then forward again. You can modify your left leg position. But try to figure out what's happening where those sensations are the greatest. Why is it that the stress accumulates in that one spot or those 2 spots? Begin to deepen your breath. On your next inhale, rise back up. Bring your chest towards the center. Help your legs come together. Again, hands behind your hips. For another set of windshield wipers. And again, observe what's happening. And the next time you come to center, pause. From here, come down onto your elbows, all the way down onto your back. Find your strap and place it across your chest for just a moment. Stretch your arms overhead. So push your palms away from your heels. Your toes away from your fingers. And then leaving your right leg where it is, push that right heel forward. And the left knee, draw that left knee into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Flex your foot. And then point your toe. And then grab your strap. Place the center of the strap across the ball of that foot. Grab the ends with your hands. Bind your hands to the strap and place your footprint onto the ceiling. And draw your arms apart. And straightenish that leg. Maybe your hamstrings are really tight, so that leg can't straighten out all the way. That's okay. You're working on that. You've worked on that in many poses today. Now carefully change your bind into just your left hand. Your right hand comes to your right hip crease, making sure that hip doesn't come up. Turn your left foot out to the left about 15 degrees, and then slowly lower that leg down. As that leg comes down, maybe you can feel those muscles that are relieving themselves of the tension. You can feel the adjacent muscles picking up seamlessly, or what appears to be seamless to you. But you know those cells are really working hard to make it unnoticeable. Keep that right hip down. Try softening your glutes and your lower abdomen. Maybe you can soften your quads. Notice if there's any stress at all in that right leg. Maybe you want to wiggle those right toes from left to right, just to see. Begin to deepen your breath. On your next inhale, begin to bring that foot back up onto the ceiling. And when you get there, pause. Carefully change your bind into your right hand. And then gently urge that left leg off to the right. Just 8 or 10 inches, doesn't have to be much for you to feel all those muscles on the outside of your leg. Those are adductors. Sorry, abductors. Drawing your legs apart. And then inhale, come back to center. Carefully lower the knee down towards your chest until you can release the bind. Draw that knee in, give yourself a squeeze. Add the right knee. Maybe rock left to right or big circles. And then lower your feet next to your hip bone or next to your sit bones. Your hands next to your hips. Tuck your tailbone under again. Lift your hips up. Feel that stretch on your quads, on your hip crease, on your core. And then come back down. Find your block. And on your next inhale, place the block underneath your sacrum. Carefully lower back down. This time lifting your left foot up to the ceiling. Maybe spread your toes wide, push your heel away, and then bring that left ankle over the right thigh like a gentleman sitting. And then on an inhale of your choice, use your left hand between your legs and around your right thigh or right shin and make a bind. And again, we have all those same options that you had on the other side. And you may decide that reaching between your legs isn't the right way to do it. Maybe it's over the top of your legs. Whatever works for you. You're trying to get into muscles that are tight because the underlying fascia is tight. The only way that the fascia is going to lengthen is to stretch those muscles and then relax them so that the tension can be transferred into the fascia, stimulating your stem cells to go to the connections to add length so that you have more space inside your body in which to move. They'll give you more mobility, more flexibility. And remember your edge, which is that point where the muscles can soften. If that edge has moved a bit, chase it. Meaning add a little bit more tension with your arms or by position to stimulate just a little bit more. Because a muscle that has been stretched and softened, if you can stretch it a little bit more, it will respond quicker to relax. Begin to deepen your breath. On your next exhale, release your bind. Carefully lower that right foot down to the mat. Raise that left foot up onto the ceiling, push the heel away. And then bring that left foot down onto the mat next to the right. Push the floor away, lifting up your hips, removing the block. Enjoying that bridge, and then come back down. Give your knees a squeeze. Straighten out your spine on the mat and rock from left to right or circles. Whatever feels best. We have one more pose before Shavasana, and it is the spinal twist with the cat pulling its tail again. So this time, have your left, bend your left knee, and have your left foot right on your right butt cheek, and maybe you can grab it with that left hand, right hand. Bring your left arm out into T. Then on an exhale, lower your knees to the left so that the foot that you have a hold of is the one on the bottom, on the floor. And now begin to pull that right foot back towards the center of the mat. That will bring your knee towards the back of the mat. At this point, your right knee can be up in the air, or you can grab it with your left hand. And then begin to arch your back and begin to stretch your spine into a twist, trying to lower your right shoulder down into a twist. Now, in addition to stretching your left quads, this is really accentuating the twist on your chest and on your back. So enjoy that. But if it's too much, just back up. Or even let go of that right foot to the foot with your right hand. We're getting into your obliques here. And your quadratus lumbarum, which are your obliques on the back side. Getting into your abs. Try to soften those muscles. Soften your lower abs. See if you can soften your side body. And your pecs. Maybe you can soften your glutes. Maybe the easiest muscles to relax at this point are going to be your jaw muscles, your cheeks, your temples, and your eyes. If you can soften them, maybe it will send a wave of relaxation to your other muscles. Begin to deepen your breath. On your next inhale, release your bind. Bring that right knee back to meet the left. Roll onto your back. Bring your knees into your chest. Slowly rock and then make some circles. Very, very large circles. And slow. Go the opposite direction. And the next time you come to center, pause. Release your feet to the mat and walk your heels all the way out to the front. Stretch your arms up towards the ceiling one more time. And then towards the wall beyond your head, stretch your palms to your heels. Your manicure to your pedicure. And then relax. You can bring your arms back down by your sides or off to the side. You can walk your feet a comfortable distance apart so your legs can be stress-free. Maybe you want to rock your feet to relieve them of any tension. You can walk your shoulder blades underneath your back a little bit more if that's what feels best to you. Stretch your neck long. Lift your head up 1 inch. Tuck your chin. And then rest your head. Take a deep cleansing breath into your nose. Exhale out through your nose. Take another breath in through your nose. Out through your nose. And take rest. begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back into your space. Bring movement to your fingers and to your toes, to your wrists and to your ankles. Gently roll your head from left to right. And when you're ready, bend your knees, walk your feet up towards your sit bones, draw your knees into your chest and give yourself a squeeze. And rock again, lengthen your spine by pushing your hips away. Rocking all the way from hip and shoulder on one side to hip and shoulder on the other. The next time you come over towards your right side, pause there for just a moment and do a quick body scan to detect any residual tension or stress that may still be lurking in your tissues, so that you can address those areas later in the week. And then using the strength in your left hand, push the floor away, rise up to a seated position. Thank you for sharing your yoga practice with me this afternoon. Thank you for inspiring me to teach. But mostly, thank you for taking the time and effort to keep your body healthy, your mind healthy, and your breath strong through the practice of yoga. Share your compassion and your empathy with your family, your friends, and each person you may meet. Namaste.
Namaste.
My name is Clint, and this has been Yin Yoga. Thanks for coming.